No, I don't hear myself so much in an echo. Perfect. So this is what we are going to be doing today. It's going to take us longer than our glorious lunchtime hour to complete said Wonder Woman. But I'm going to give you some tips and tricks with cross stitching. I'm going to show you some patterns that you can do with cross stitching, all of that kind of glorious good stuff of how to make this Wonder Woman, which I sent you all. And if you didn't get the pattern, if you decide at the end of this that you really want like a kit, I can totally send you a kit of Wonder Woman. Right now I don't have one in front of me, but they look like this. They will have the pattern in them. This is a Sister Rosetta Tharpe pattern. And they will have all the supplies that you need in it. So I don't mind. They fit in a little postage supplied envelope. Really easy. I can get one of these out to you if you decide that you want one. All right, let me show you first what we can do with cross stitch. So with cross stitch, some of the ones that I have made are little bookmarks. This is a Make Herstory bookmark. This one is on felt as the backing. There's a couple of different ways that you can make bookmarks. The reason for the felt on the back is because your backing, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. And so the felt is a nice way to put that on the back without having to sew anything. I don't think I have, oh, I had another one that was another bookmark. I knew there was going to be something that got lost in the mix, but maybe I'll find it in this glorious file. I've also made little tiny ones. Here's a little tiny cat one. This one's adorable. I also have for my trekkers, my trekkies. I also have little enterprises and insignias. There is a glorious Star Trek cross stitch book where it had the pattern for this one, expendable, glorious red shirtness. And this has got to be one of my favorites. He's dead, Jim. And it is teeny tiny little dead guys. All the way around the frame. It's just absolutely adorable. So those Star Trek ones came from this book, Star Trek Cross Stitch. It has, there it is right there. He's dead, Jim. It has a wide variety of patterns in it with different sizes. So like even the little tiny Enterprise I took from this pattern and just kind of made it into a little one. So you can incorporate them in any way that you choose. But there are Star Trek cross stitch books. There are Star Wars cross stitch books. There aren't a whole ton. Actually, I do not know if there's like a Doctor Who one, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a Star Trek cross stitch book. Other ones that I recommend is this one. This is a Feminist Icon Cross Stitch. And there's the Frida Kahlo that actually came from that one. So there's Frida. A lot of times I do actually change up colors. I am that person who will kind of like change things up just a little bit. I wanted her necklace and earrings to like pop more and less of an eyebrow. You know what I mean? Things like that. The thing that's neat is that you get to do that. This is from this book as well. This is a Rosie the Riveter one. And this is a Cleopatra one, also from the book. And I was basically during a lot of the lockdown, I was like, how many of these can I do? And this is my Michelle Obama. I did this one inspired by Katie did an episode on the Gals Guide podcast about Michelle Obama. And so I was just like, I'm going to do a Michelle Obama cross stitch. Another one that I really love that is snarky, because I love funny cross stitch. I love taking something that your grandmother would do and how she would learn the alphabet or whatever, and make just beautiful, charming things. I like them to swear. So this is a beautiful one that has a lot, like, you know, happy fucking holidays. So these are great gifts. I hope you choke. So these are hilarious. I made cross stitch, I think, in a couple of different colors as gifts for people. But I love this book, and I love these ones. There's a happy birthday one that I tend to, do I still have it in the front? No, okay, all right. There's usually, dun, 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 this place sucks, tell me I'm pretty, sucks to be you, rat bastard. I mean, they're all lovely, absolutely lovely. The other thing that I have done before is that I have taken the borders and I have put it with other words on it. There it is. There's happy fucking birthday. It's really nice as a birthday card. I'm just saying, if you have a friend that doesn't really care about birthday cards, put a little cross stitch in there. It'll surprise them that you actually did like a grandmother stitch. Another thing is you can actually do them on different colored Aida. So Aida is this fabric that has all of the little holes in it. I have done a couple of dark colored Aidas. This one was a nightmare to do. Since then, even though I love the compass design wasn't too hard itself. It was the dark colored Aida being able to see the holes through it, because apparently I cross stitch in a relatively dark room. Like right now, I can see them pretty well. But I couldn't see them all that well, and it kind of matters where those little holes are. So there's a lot of variety of Aida colors that you can choose from. This one is even an oatmeal. Oatmeal. Oh no, sorry. Ivory. So they come in rolls like this, and they also come in little packs like this too. There's nothing wrong with either. Generally what the difference is the size. So this one's 15 by 18, this one's 11.75 by 18. I go with whatever's on sale, whatever's cheaper, whatever's available. When it comes to your glorious Aida, they have numbers, 14 count, 14 Aida. What that number is how far apart the holes are. Oh, there it is. It's how far apart the holes are. So a lot of times your pattern will say suggested size is 14. 14 is a standard, 16 is another one that I see on occasion, but it is a preference. So if you want the design to be even smaller, or if you want it to be even bigger, that is where you play around with different Aida sizes. So that is your Aida. The other thing that you need is your floss. So floss comes like this. They are like 50 to 70 cents. I mean, they're super, super cheap, and this goes a long way for a project. And so you get these in a whole bunch of glorious different colors. They have numbers right there by the barcode. That is how you determine your numbers. So when I sent you the email that said the different numbers for this pattern, that is where you would find the number in the store on the skein. Now what I do with the floss is I put them on these little plastic cards, and because they tend to, you know, knot and just kind of like, you know, totally get unruly, if you will. So I put them on these little cards, and I put their number up in the corner so I can remember what their number is. They have little, there we go. They have little teeth grabbers on them so that your end piece can be somewhat snug. It's pretty good. It's not, you know, absolutely the best, but it's pretty good. But the reason why I do that is because look, these are all of our Wonder Woman colors. So you can get these cute little clippy thingies, the clip rings, and you can put all of the colors of the project that you are working on a ring, and you have it ready to go. So that way, if you are stitching one area and need to come back to that color, you've got them all with you, and they're nicely organized and all that kind of good stuff. The other thing with the floss is that it comes with 6 strands. let's see, this will be a glorious camera trick that I'm seeing if I can do. Ooh, I can almost do it. So if I separate these out, you will see that there are 6 individual pieces of thread. Almost, come on camera, you can focus. I know you can. Oh, it's trying. 6-ish. So what you do when you cross stitch is you use 2 of them. That gives you the thickness that you need. Generally, all of your boxes are separating out just 2 of the threads. So you can see how this whole thing goes a lot farther when you're only using 2 of the 6 threads and you've got all of this, right? When you do little tiny line work, which our Wonder Woman actually has, the little tiny line work, which is her eyes and her lips, that is 1 strand. So line work is just 1 strand, and it's because it's a teeny tiny little area just for accent. Sometimes there are ones where you can go around the edge like an outline. That would also be a 1 strand highlight line if you wanted to do that. So that is that. The next part of your supplies is your glorious needles. Through much trial and error, because my daughter has like a favorite cross-stitching needle. We've never thought this was going to be a thing in our entire life, that there was going to be a favorite cross-stitching needle, but there is. Apparently this is it. This is a 22 tapestry needle. You can use just about any damn needle you want to, seriously. Embroidered needle, sharp needle, knot, it's all fine. The reason why we like these ones is because it has a very big eye on it. So that makes it nice to get that floss through there. And also it has a blunt tip. Because there's already holes in this, you don't need to pierce anything. And you especially don't want to like pierce your own finger. So it is kind of nice because on many occasions I have used an actual like embroidery needle, and then next thing you know, I've got little calluses or I've got little bits of my fingertip missing cuz. But any needle that you like will work. But this is what I recommend. So I think the last part of the equation that you need is scissors. These are, we call these Mr. Snip Snips. I don't know why. Me and Cammie are just like, do you have Mr. Snip Snips? I need Mr. Snip Snips for some reason. We got these from an IKEA little kit of stuff, and they're our favorite. Let's see. Okay, 2 more supply things that you don't necessarily need. This is another version of a kit that you would find at a store. This will have another version of everything that you need on it. So if you don't want to think about what colors you need, what size Aida you need, or anything like that, and you just want to find something pretty to do, that's maybe, I don't know, $1.20. Yeah, these can go for super, super cheap if you wait them out. Because see, look, $11.99. Just wait it out. Just wait it out. But these kits have everything you need, including a needle in them, and they will tell you how big the finished project is. So Umbrella Ella Ella is what I was going to eventually make of this, and then like add some stuff to it. So that's one way to do supplies to get started. Another thing that I will show you and mention, but is totally not necessary, is a hoop-a-hoop, hoop, hoop. This one's bright orange so that I can find it. But a hoop-a-hoop hoop is for not only while you are working on your project, but you can also display your finished project in a hoop hoop as well. I made one for Katie that was the Glennon Doyle quote, "You are a goddamn cheetah," and I put it into a hoop-to-hoop. But this one's being a little bit stubborn. But it is nice because it pulls the Aida for you so you can see it better. It keeps it nice and taut for you with its little claspy thingy. And then that way you can get through the front and back. And then there are other videos out there of how to stitch a piece of felt to the back of it to basically kind of seal it in and be a pretty design. These rings, the plastic ones, have a little bit more oompah to them. They're about $4, but there's some really nice like wooden ones that are like $1 to $2. And so, I mean, a lot of times that's cheaper than a frame. So it makes it a really nice gift if you want it to be in a glorious circle afterwards. So you can stitch it in these, and then you can also give it or hang it on these as well. And like I said, they come in a variety of different colors, but they also come in wood as well, which is very nice. So yeah, so that is the glorious patterns and designs that I have for you. The supplies that you will need. Gal's Guide. Let me grab these. Gal's Guide used to do a stitch and bitch. We used to have it once a month, and we'd have a new pattern that we would do, and we would get together and we would just stitch. And the idea with now the library being open by appointment is that hopefully we'll get to a point again where we'll do a collective day where people can come in and we can stitch and we can bitch. And it can be either cross stitch, or it can be crochet or knitting, or it can just be a crafty project. Our glorious location is not huge, but then again, when we were meeting at a Starbucks, we weren't having a whole ton of people there either. So it was a nice little way to kind of get together. So these are actually still kits that we have left over from that we sell for $5. We have them here in the library. We had them at Farmers Market. We are going to start an Etsy page with our custom cross-stitch designs, and then also our fabric bookmarks. So keep an eye out for the Etsy store. I will also send you a link when it's there. But in case you're interested, I do have a Sister Rosetta Tharpe Invented Rock and Roll one. I do have a Empowered Women Empower Other Women cross stitch. I do have a Hidden Figures one. I do have a bookmark that says, I like big books and I cannot lie. I've got a Nevertheless She Persisted. And this one is one of my favorite snarky ones. You know the greatest thing that women ever invented? People. Women invented people. So yeah, so I have that one. So those are the glorious cross-stitch kits that we have that have everything you need to get her done, and they are $5, and we're hoping to come back and make more of them. And then the other thing is we do have finished ones. We do have a finished Baby Yoda, and that we're gonna also sell in the shop. And we do have a finished Frida Kahlo that is in a frame, and we do have a finished Wonder Woman that is in a frame as well. So if you're watching all of this and be like, screw that, I don't want to do any of this, but I love it. Hey, we're gonna have some available already done for you to buy, and it supports the library. And my daughter really likes doing these too, so she loves making them. Oh, there they are. Real quick. There's the finished Nevertheless. That's the one we have a pattern for. That's the Sister Rosetta Tharpe Invented Rock and Roll finished one. There's the Empowered Women Empower Women. There's the Hidden Figures one. And then this one's on a glitter Aida. I don't know if you can kind of see the glitter a little bit. It's very subtle, but there's the Invented People. Here's the other way to make a bookmark, is to sew together 2 pieces of Aida and let the, oh wait, there we go. Let the edges kind of fray. And it's a very cute way to make a bookmark. The kit for this one does come with 2 pieces of Aida that you can stitch together and make it just like this. And I don't have a kit of this one right now, but this is one that I made for Film Pioneers, of the Film Pioneer legends of the silver screen. And I love it. All right, so there you go. So there is the glorious show and tell-ness of what we have available. So now let's get into this as I move stuff from my teeny tiny little desk. All right, so let's get into action with our glorious Wonder Woman. Okay, now I have a slightly different, only slightly different pattern. What I have is my working pattern. See? Delete, add yellow. So this is what when I make a pattern, I will design it on the computer. I use a program called PC Stitch. I will design it on the computer first, and then I will stitch it, and I will alter it as I go, because I mean, it's gonna happen. You can see on this one, it had these little stars and stars. Those were hard. Those came out of no. They were not consistent. They were a pain in the butt. So, I mean, y'all can try stars there. Kudos if it works, but I think it's totally fine without it. Let me see, I should probably get her back. Wonder Woman, where'd you go? Let's see. Oh no, oh no. I put the pile of cross stitch away, and you would think that I would be able to find her again. There she is. Okay, all right, let's get her finished. So yeah, so you can see she doesn't have her stars, yet y'all know she's Wonder Woman, right? Without her stars, so it kind of works out, which is nice. So that's something that you just kind of do trial and error with your designs. If you already have if somebody already went through making the design for you, making the pattern, bought it in a kit, you can alter it as well, which is very nice. So how you start is you have your glorious Aida. This one does actually have the glitter in it, which once again, can't really see. Cool, 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 cool. The first thing you do is you find your center point. So any piece of Aida that you have that you want to use, this design ends up being like a 3x5 size. So I just have this piece of fabric that I know works. So you fold it in half, and then you fold it to the other side. And you crease it because you want to be able to see where those lines intersect to get your center point. All right. Because I can cheat and use this one where it's still, see, folded already, for my glorious center point, I can see that the center point starts right there, the top-ish, well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's that one. It's the second row, red one, is where our starting point is. If you have a big piece of Aida, I mean, getting your center point is not the most crucial in the entire world, because you can cut the excess. So, you know what I mean? That's what's really nice about it. So what I do is I find the hole that is closest to the center, which is folding and folding, and that is my center point. I don't know why, but I always just put my needle there for it to think about what it's done while I get my thread ready. So our center point starts at red. So getting our red thread, let me see, this is some extra that I have. I'm going to get that one off of there. and that one off there. Okay, all right. So the length that you need that I have found that works really, really well is putting the end, there we go, between your forefingers, or between your fingers, doesn't matter which ones, and then pulling it down to, oh, you won't be able to see, to my elbow. So it's basically going from your fingers to your elbow. That's about the length that you need. Mr. Snap Snap! Hey, there we go. That gives you not too long of a piece and also not too short of a piece. So you're not threading all the time and you're not getting it too tangled. It still will get tangled, it just happens. But 4 fingers to elbow is a good length for it. And it's something that you always have on your person. So you don't have to have like another ruler or anything like that. So now that you have that cut, you are going to separate your 6 to your 2. So there is my 2 strands, and you just kind of pull them apart. You usually hold down the little V and pull. Put your little 4 pieces to the side. This is your 2 strands. So now there is a variety of different ways to cast on. And I always feel like when it comes to any kind of sewing stuff, or needlework stuff, the way that you cast on seems to be very militant. I knot it. I knot it twice. I just do a knot close-ish to the end, and then I knot and I try to aim over that same knot again. That is what I do. There are methods where you can start, leave a tail, and then as you stitch, you are wrapping around it to secure the tail in place. The knot is fine for me. So I don't mind it. The reason why some people don't like it is because of it leaves a bump on the back. It's like, yeah, okay, well, these have knots on the back, and I mean, I think it's fine. I don't know who's really like studying the back besides my daughter. But you know, that's different. That's a whole thing. Okay, so gloriously threading our beautiful needle. Dun, dun, dun. All right, threading the needle. Oh, I didn't go all Goldie Hawn style with my eyes crossed. That's my favorite thing to do. All right, so you thread your needle and you go to your center line. I've got that way and that way. All right, so you've got your center hole. Dun, dun, dun. You pull through back to front. Okay, I want to get a little bit closer here. And let's see if it'll also focus, camera. Oh, look at that. Then what you are doing is you're going to the top diagonal hole and you are making a little diagonal line. Okay. Then you are going into the bottom hole underneath. I'm trying to like do this as my head's also around an iPad at the same time. There we go. Bottom to that top corner. You're making an X, making a teeny tiny little cross X. It is much easier to see this when I do this in a black fabric or a black Aida. Let me do that real quick. That might actually be really helpful because a lot of this is, you got to see it to be it, right? Let's see. Thank goodness I have these extra needles. All right, threading that one. Dun, 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 dun. I'm just gonna do this one like over here. Okay, so going through a hole all the way through. Sorry, I did knot it because I'm like going, oh, it's just for a tutorial. Okay, so you have that one. You go across it. The first hole that is across, there we go. You can see it a little bit better, of the diagonal line. Then right below that one, bum, 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 bum. This is more me trying to see around things. And through that, and then that top corner hole. There we go. Is that a little easier to see the full-on X there? So when I see these Aidas and when I see all these little holes in it, basically I see little boxes everywhere. So little boxes that get little X marks on them. And so X marks the spot with the beautiful little X's. When so many of them are combined, I mean, these are all little X's. But when they are a part of the pattern altogether, you see more of the pattern than you do see all of those little boxes. But they are all little X's, and that is what you are doing, are making little X's after little X. So yes, okay, so that's that black one, so you can see a little better. I'm just gonna, oh, sorry, I guess I should have shown you. The other great thing is that all of this is removable. If you mess up at any point, like, did you see how I just kind of like took all that out? It's like, bam, it doesn't leave any marks. It's like, this is very easily fixable. Miscount, misalign, it all pulls right back out again. That's what's really, really nice and forgiving about this. The other part of this is that it is a lot of counting and stabbing. One of those things I like to do. It's the stabbing part, in case you were wondering. Okay, all right, so we've got our center, which we have determined is this right here on her breastplate. So that means it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going across. So you go to the next available hole. You don't leave a space. That is always a, oh, I accidentally got the tail. Hold on, come here, little tail. Come here. There you go. You're not supposed to go through the front side like that. You are going through the same holes again. So I am going back through to make my diagonal, back through a hole we've already done, because you don't want to leave a space in between. And then I am going back through a hole we've already done for the other side of the diagonal. And going across. So there is 2 little X's side by side. Woo, woo, woo. How many did I say we were doing? For this glorious row, we are doing 5. So do 5, diagonal across, bottom hole, and then back through diagonal. That makes 3 little X's. And then diagonal and bottom and diagonal across. That makes 4. See how much counting there is. Counting, then stabbing. And bum, bum, bum. There we go. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is on our pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo, woo, right? That is fun. Okay, so then the next part becomes, let's finish the top bit. You can go in any direction that you want to. There is no right or wrong with that. So like if you want to keep going down and finish it, if I like just coming to a finishing area, so I would love to, my OCD would love to finish up this top little area of her breast cup. So that is going over 1 from where we last were. So you see your little box, you go over 1, you go up to the diagonal, making sure I'm seeing it right here. Cross from the diagonal. Let me see. Ooh, let me show you a half stitch method. Okay, so we have 3 for this top row here. Okay, oh, it's getting a little bit blurry, but all right, we have 3 for this top row. So this is a half stitch method, and it can be really quick if you have the same color in a long row. 3 I will consider a good row for it. But so I did my diagonal stitch, okay? Then I'm gonna go and do my next diagonal stitch, okay? Just the diagonal, so they're parallel to each other. So 1, 2, and then I'm gonna do my third one, okay? So I've got my 1, 2, 3 that go across of just that side. And then I come back through. So I go all the way from one end to the other. And now I'm doing my crosses. So half stitch method is going all the way across, just doing 1 half stitch and then coming back through. The thing that's nice about doing the half stitch method is you end up right back to where you were. So if you like starting on this side, then you are on the side. So that's kind of nice. If you have a repetitive pattern, especially one that's, you know what I mean, like really, really covered and stuff. What I do for when I approach the next line that has a different color to it is I skip and count. So for this one, I know that it's over 1 from the previous stitch. So that's the third line, going down 1. And I'm gonna do my X. You can do a combination of half stitches or just full on make your X. And then I am skipping 1, 2, 3. And because the skipping those colors is my yellow. So one thing that's nice about this is that then when I'm coming in with the yellow color, I mean, there's already a hole for me. By the way, this got a little bit knotted. Do I have my first knot? Yes. Okay, sorry. The reason why I'm excited is because I can show you how to take a knot out, because they happen all the time. But let's see if camera will help me here. Okay. So usually what happens is that it kind of bunny ears against itself. So what I do is I get the little bunny ears and I just pull on them and bam, it comes out. So the little bunny ears, I just put my needle through it and I pull them up, and then look at that, the knot is gone. My daughter calls me a magic woman when I do that because I like to make the knots out. Yeah, so I just skip for the next color and I keep going. I keep going with my counting. And you get to determine how, you know, you want to do this. So let's say this one's 1, 2, 3 reds, and then you have this space in between. So you can decide, okay, nope, I'm going to go back and then I'm going to start this line and I'm going to go all the way across and then I'm going to pick up these ones. Cool. You can do 1, 2, 3, leave 1, 2, 3 spaces and then do this line. It's all good. No one will ever know but you. That's what's really neat about it. So you kind of get to determine how you are going to tackle a particular pattern and in what way you want to do it. I do recommend starting with the middle-ish. And the reason for the middle-ish is because it would really suck if you got like most of it done and then you didn't have enough Aida for like the top. You know what I mean? So starting in the middle-ish is more of a making sure that you have enough Aida space. Where if you have a giant piece of Aida and you know the design is really small, then you don't have to worry about it. You can start wherever you want. And it will work out, which is lovely. So that is pretty much the basics of a tutorial. Ooh, how to cast off. Hold on, that's the last thing I need to show you. Okay. So let's say this is it of the red. Let's just pretend that that's it of red. You switch to other colors and all that kind of good stuff. That is it of it. So how do you get it so it doesn't unravel and on the needle? So the best way that I like to do it is, this is front side, sorry, this is back side, okay? This is your ugly side. I just put it through like 3 of the stitches. 2, sometimes 3, whatever. Sometimes like I'm kind of a mess about it. But you're just kind of putting it through the stitches. You're making sure it's not going through the front. If you see your needle through the front, you have gone too far. So you just want to like catch some of the stitches, and what it is those stitches are then going to hold that in place. Mr. Snap Snap, come here, Mr. Snap Snap. Oh, bam, there you go. And so then you are tied off. Those will be snugly secure, especially if you put this into a frame, or even if you put into a hoop with felts behind it. That is pretty secure. I'm just saying. It works really, really well. So yay! All right, I'm going to open it up for questions, just in case there is something that I've forgotten, or there's